Well, hello everybody. It is really nasty out. It is raining. It is really wet, moist, and uncomfortable. I feel like it's 2008 again, and I'm going to watch Twilight. Um, so yeah. Speaking of 2008, that's when I graduated high school. That's when I had my first job, had my own money, um, and yeah, many a paychecks were spent at McDick's. Many of my friends worked at McDonald's, but it's not the same anymore. Um, it doesn't taste the same. Doesn't. It's not a fun place to go. You can't even have a good birthday party there. I mean, what are the pervs like? I'm sure there's at least one pervert out there that is mad that he can't go sit and be surrounded by children while eating a $1.99 double cheeseburger anymore. I mean, that's a good thing, but a lot of people are angry. Um, so yeah, back in the day, every one of my buddies worked at McDonald's. I had one buddy who worked at Greco, like probably a dozen or so friends that worked at McDonald's, um, a couple homeboys that worked at the Colonel, KFC, and Taco Bell. Um, and I'm still absolutely furious that our local KFC got rid of Taco Bell. I mean, where am I going to go for my colon cleanse? But e- anyways, I had one buddy that worked at Boston Pizza. Long time ago, back in 2006. He's come a long way from there since then. 20 years ago, he worked at Boston Pizza, and now he is still working at Boston Pizza, but now he's in charge. He's making them bags, so he's good for him. He's uh, no longer taking crap from stuck up waitresses. Um, he's now he's now giving out crap. So good for you, buddy. So anyways, McDonald's, it used to be like everybody in high. I know a lot of kids still go to McDonald's, but like it's not nearly as good as it used to be. I remember back in the day, the big thing to do back in like 2009, 2010-ish is that you would go and get what we would call a McGangbang. The McGangbang is you slide a junior chicken in between a McDouble or double cheeseburger, and it ended up being like a sandwich this big. It was tasty, it was amazing, and it cost you less than $5. Now that same sandwich is going to cost you $10, and the quality is dipped um, in an incredible amount. Um, yeah, that's what my buddy Steve he introduced it to me, and he was like next level gluttony, whatever you want to call it, next level fat. Like he would be rocking the sweatpants for 6 days in a row and only scrubbing his nuts if he wanted to attract a female. Um, and I'm really getting off track here. Anyways, back in the day, McDonald's. We had two McDonald's locations in town. We had the one like the standalone McDonald's, and we had a Walmart McDonald's, which was actually awesome because you could go to Walmart, look at all the low IQ people trying to go into Walmart. Like you'd see the pajama pants crusade walking into there, and then they would go and like they would weigh like 300 pounds. They would go into McDonald's, get like a Big Mac meal, extra nuggies, extra French fries, and still wonder why they're fat as heck and promptly blame genetics as opposed to their 2,000 calorie afternoon snack. Um, but it's great because my buddy Matt and Tyler both work there, and I think they may have been the reason why they started putting cameras in the kitchen in McDonald's. I remember going one time there in high school. Matt was working like, "Oh, hey Zedric," and that's how he talks. He talks like that. "Hey Zedric," he's like, or "Hey Zeddy." I just used my real name. I'm retarded. Um, he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "You want some extra meat on your bun?" I was like, "Yeah, man." I ordered like a Big Mac, and he put like three extra patties on it, and it was actually the greatest day of my life. Um, I remember, uh, who else worked there? There's Tyler, Matt. and Jad. Jad was kind of like a mini weeaboo, but he was like the kind of weeaboo who was actually in the music. So he was a weeb that pretended to be cool, but was still kind of a weeb. But I really liked Jad. He was a fun guy. But like we would go there at lunchtime, and um, one of the ladies would serve him, and he would like do a little sensei bow to them as he was in there. So it was kind of awkward, but it was still kind of funny. Pardon me, I'm checking my phone while I'm doing this podcast like a incompetent tool. Um, but yeah, and it was great. You go in McDonald, like you would go to Walmart, you'd go in there, you'd browse the toy section, you'd browse the movie section, you'd browse the video game section. Speaking of Walmart, man, Walmart has gone downhill. I went in there, and you can't even buy a movie half the time. I mean, you can go into Walmart, you can get a tampon from the men's room, but you can't buy a $5 copy of RoboCop. I mean, it's gone to complete hell. It's an abomination. Um, so yeah. Now when we went to school, McDonald's was the place where um, there's kind of like a culture of douchebaggery culture. You have your Volkswagen enthusiasts, you have your druggies, your burnouts, and the Venn diagram right in the middle. It's everyone's love of McDonald's. So that's where everybody would meet. Um, you would get the odd person who would go in there, and I remember one time, some guy went in there and he had a canister of Cool Whip, not even like in an aerosol can. So he would just and I used to think people did that because they liked the sweet cream, but no, apparently they would get high off the fumes. And he would go in there stumbling around like, "Oh, I need to make chicken." And my buddy, my buddy Matt he hooked him up. Um, in our town, there was like a succession of failure in our town. You would work at McDonald's, and then you would stop working at McDonald's, and then you'd go work at the Circle K. And when the Circle K got too hard or too boring or whatever, then you would go work at web.com. And then you would leave and you would go back to Circle K. So it was like a big giant circle of failure. Not even the cool kind of Circle K like in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It's like the cracked out Circle K where um, you get fellatioed in the back for a nickel kind of thing. Um, Now, I went to McDonald's the other day. There is a McDonald's in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. It is actually the worst McDonald's I've ever been to in my entire life. Um, like you go in there and they have the tables that are set up. You have a single person table, but they wall you in like it's the middle of COVID. And so you go in there and you face forward. It's like a little cubby at the library. Um, s- so you don't get to see anybody. You don't get to people watch. You don't get to do anything. And if you're obese like me, you can't fit in it. So it's just an all around terrible, terrible day. Um, the people at the counter, I ask, "Hey, can I have this combo?" And they just look at you for 5 seconds, and then they're like, And then I tried to pay them in cash, and they're like, So they didn't know how to count cash, um, or count change, or whatever you want to call it. So I would go in there, and it was just all around a bad experience. So I ended up getting a bagel and left in frustration. Um, Now, if you actually like Google search this location, you can see like pictures of like all the staff in there with their hands down their butt cracks. Like, if I want to get my fingers in a crack at McDonald's, I'll go to the My McDonald's and pay for it. Please and thank you. I don't want to see it at another location. Um, Now, since like 2010 and 2011 and all that, all the McDonald's went through like this renovation where like they took all of the joy out of it. So like no more creepy Ronald McDonald, no more play areas, no Legos, no birthday parties, no free Wi-Fi where like I mean back in high school you go to McDonald's, you bring your DS and you'd play Mario Kart using the McDonald's Wi-Fi on your Nintendo DS. It was absolute peak. But now you go in there, they have a plaque on there. It's like limited seating, 30 minutes or less. Managers have the right to eject you. Like, okay. Um, so there's no soul to McDonald's anymore. I mean, there's holes with people's fingers down their butt cracks and all that, but there's, I mean, the food is passable, but it's like you don't go to McDonald's for a cheap meal there. I mean, I remember in high school, like $5 plus tax would get you a meal. Now you can still get a value menu, but like they like celebrate, oh, $5 can get you a meal now. Like that's how it should be. You're eating at McDonald's. Like your meat tastes like it was rubbed in someone's perineum. And if you don't know where a perineum is, take your finger, rub your butthole, and go to the front. That's what your perineum is. Um, so yeah. So now it looks like a really bad version of a Starbucks. And speaking of Starbucks, I got the coffee from McDonald's. Every single time I get coffee from McDonald's, it has a thin layer of grease on the top. So if you've ever seen my buddy Travis, if you look at his skin, he has a thin layer of grease on his skin. It looked like he just dunked his face into the coffee. Now, I'm not going to be complaining about the people that they hire at McDonald's because I know nobody wants to work there. And the people that work there are very nice and they work really hard. But y'all gotta wash your hands. I don't want you touching a hash brown or french fries or a sausage biscuit and then going and picking up my coffee cup. My goodness, my hands are fat. Picking up a coffee cup, put your fingers in the coffee cup, serve it, and have that little grease from all the McDonald's food you're eating sink into my coffee. Because every time I go into it, it's like a BP oil spill right at the top of the coffee every single time. And it tastes like somebody put their dick into the coffee and stirred it. Now, if you're wondering now, Zeddy, why did you use that allegory? Why do you know what dick tastes like? Well, man's gotta eat. See ya.